Well, hello, my beautiful swords. How y'all doing today? This is officially me, Sugar and Spice, coming to you with another video. First of all, y'all, I gotta tell you, I do not blame Sin City for wearing masks the way that she does. Because one of my grandkids came over here about 3 weeks ago, and I didn't know that he had a cold, and he ended up giving it to me. Man, it took me out almost 3 weeks. And I'm still recovering from it, but I still, like have a little congestion and stuff like that. That's the reason why I haven't been on YouTube for a while, because I really didn't feel like it. As you see, I got my wig cap on my head, because I cannot do my hair. I have tried and tried and tried, and I cannot do this stuff. This stuff is so compacted that I might have to just end up shaving it off, or cutting it down to where I can make it pliable enough for me to do it. As you can see, my voice is still raspy, but I'm feeling good, But yeah, I've been watching YouTube for the last couple of days, and I've been just tripping off the fact that I don't know if it's for clicks or views or whatever. I don't know why Cindy came out with, yes, I do. I know why. She wanted to drive traffic to her channel by saying that her and her husband, that she wanted a divorce. But in actuality, she did that, to get those clicks and views, which, I don't have nothing against it, Bring traffic to your channel the way you want to. I'm not hard-pressed about it. It's not going to make me or break me. It's not going to put food in my mouth or take food from my table. Like I said, none of these people can sit up and say that this woman here, Sugar and Spice, is eating off of them, because my channel is not monetized. And by the way, y'all, like, subscribe, and comment. Leave me a comment. But anyway, I was watching, and I watched the way that she came after Melissa B. To be honest, the reason why she came after Melissa B is because Melissa B was coming after her. She was saying different little things about her shorts, the shorts that Sin City was putting out there. And I think it just got on Sin City's nerves. And then, who else? And she came after Adrian because Adrian came after them. And I think she came after Miss Whitley, but Miss Whitley been dragging Adrian for years. But, they got that that love-hate thing, going on, which, most of the shit that Wanda be saying is funny as fuck. Now, when it comes down to her speech pattern, I'm talking about Sin City. Her speech pattern is from her upbringing. Her speech pattern has nothing to do with her education. It has nothing to do with her intelligence. See, a person can speak Ebonics and still be intelligent. People got it twisted. They think you got to have a certain kind of style or, a speech pattern. I listens to Beloved's son, her oldest son. And the way his speech pattern is, actually, it makes me want to throw up. And the reason why it makes me want to throw up is because he wants to try to sound educated. He does that for the masses, the masters. That's why he does it. I look at Adrian the same way. She has a certain kind of way of her speech pattern because she thinks her speech pattern makes her intelligent. But in actuality, it doesn't. It's people out here that has no speech pattern and are very intelligent people. But, I come to Sin-City's defense on that because basically she don't bother nobody unless somebody bother her. Just like a lot of these content creators. Come on, people, let's be honest. We go after them first. We bring their names up in our content because that's our content. We use their shit. We use them speaking in the background. We show little clips of their shit. We do that. We get paid off of them. We use their shit to pay us. People need to stop bullshitting, man. Ain't none of us on here fucking just quote unquote fucking real. We use their shit. You don't see people like Eat With Q. You don't see people like Beloved's like, well, Beloved do mention people because Beloved is still a fucking clout chaser. They're getting to Beloved life. Come on, Beloved. You gonna sit up and bring that girl's situation about her gambling, from being a bitch, this girl is younger than you. And walk all over you. I watched her video. I don't know all about Peach because I don't watch her enough. But I thank you for putting her name out there because I wouldn't have subscribed to her channel. I like her. I like her personality. She said a lot of things that the way I think. When she was talking about, why would she invite, she know what type of man she got. And I mean, even though she's still with the dude, but see, me, myself, I can't fuck with no nigga when I know y'all school, Lord Jesus, I'm sorry. I got above it, I got ahead of myself. But I can't mess with a dude that I know is a hoe. Now if I, it depends if I want to get with that hoe, you know what I'm saying? But I don't like messing with guys that I already know is a hoe and, then expect things to be different. But she knows her husband is a hoe. And like she said, she chose a friend over him because the friend had more to give as far as a car and stuff like that, for transportation, which he could have gave her, the car. They could have, divided up between themselves. But she's right. You don't let no other female, and you know what type of nigga you got, be with you. That's just common sense. And that's the reason why I like this girl Peach, because she's got common sense. I heard Adrian talking about her yesterday, but Adrian don't have common sense. Adrian have street sense. She know how to get out there and make that dollar from them men. And I don't know about her walls and all that, Cindy. I don't know about all that. But I hope the girl got some walls, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I am 6'3", and I know I still got walls, even though I don't use them. But, I don't know about all that. That was a little bit too much. But when, it's just like, I look at myself. I'm a heavy-set woman, been heavy all my life. Large hips, big ass, no titties, no waistline, and, thick thighs, big ass head, comical sometimes. I got a real bland sense of humor sometimes. Sometimes my sense of humor is weird. I laugh at some shit that ain't funny. But no, I was watching and I'm like, I heard Miss Wanda talk about they body parts, they stomachs, because people be coming for her. They do. They come for her for a tease, things that is evidence that you can see. For her stomach and shit like that. It's just like me. I am missing teeth. I got a fat ass stomach. But it's not down here. It's up a little bit. But I've heard her call Adrian all kind of names. I've heard her call people fat and But see, that's the pot calling the kettle black. We do that when we don't have the right words to come at a person. And I know they call it roasting and gagging and shit like that. But that roasting and gagging shit is really, it's stupid, because you roasting somebody and you look worse than they look. And then somewhere in your mind, you thinking that you look better than these people. And there's nothing wrong with looking, feeling that way about yourself. But when you come off to like, I can compare myself to you, why would any woman want to compare themselves to another woman? I've never tried to compare myself to anybody. I've always been me. I've always been down to earth. So I've had my heads in the clouds a couple of times. It depends on how high I wanted to get. You know what I'm saying? And that was with, my emotions and, the feelings, which is my emotions, the things that I have and that possesses me. It's just like at one time, y'all, I used to be addicted to love. You know that song, You Might As Well Face It? When he describing how your body sweats, you know what I'm saying? Your mind just, gets crazy. And then your body go crazy, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you cannot control yourself. But, you got some people they got good control. But, if you with somebody that turns you on, shit, one little whiff, because I love a man that smells good. I love black men. And, it's just something about a black man that always turned me on. Like I said, I don't know what it is about them. But, you can place them in a whole line. And I can be blindfolded and touch that body, and I still know that's a black man. And y'all probably said that old lady's an old freak. Freaking tendencies, you know what I'm saying? Freaking tendencies, brain-wise. There's a lot of shit that's in here that I will not relate to you all, because YouTube is not able to handle it. And a lot of you frigid women out there ain't able to handle it because you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? You got some of y'all that understand this shit, and then you got some of y'all that don't. Some of y'all are scared. Y'all get into bed with a man that's scared he move that body. You got to move that ussy, girl. You got to move that body, girl. What do you think you got it for? What you think you got it for? Just to lay there and let him do all the work? Gary, y'all got life fucked up. The workers got to be on both sides. I am back to being me. You know what I'm saying? I've been sick for these 3 weeks, and I'm like, man, something is wrong. I don't know if that was the flu. I don't know what it was. But whatever it was, it almost took me out of here, y'all. It had me playing gospel music. It had me listening to old hymns that that I grew up on, and which I love it. You know what I'm saying? I'll never get away from that. And I've heard there's a lot of us that has gotten away from our old, the way old people was back in the day. And I still carry that seed in me because, it was implanted in me as a kid. I knew I was like this. I was like 3, 4 years old. And I'd be sitting around the old people my age and older. Because the people back, when I was growing up, them people was like up in their 90s. Some of them like 100. I think the oldest one of my uncles was like 110. And his wife was like 60 something. And they were still knocking boots. I'm telling you. And, but, they probably were knocking boots like, like rabbits, but they was knocking boots when they wanted to knock them boots. You get where I'm coming from? And they didn't have the liquor and the weed and all that stuff right there. But like I said, you know, I was sitting back and I was thinking about, I don't know how many black people that is, or white people, anybody. When I was growing up, when our loved ones died, they would, they would call the coroner and then the undertaker, and then, they would come take the bodies. And they would clean the bodies. And in my family, I don't know about nobody else's, I'm just saying in mine, they would bring our family back home after they done washed them and, and put the clothes on them and put them in the caskets. After all this stuff was already, bought and paid for. And they would put our family members in the living room. Now, I remember my great-grandmama, she was in her bed. It was like her bed was like a bouquet of flowers. And she was laying there just as beautiful, just like she was asleep. And she was like that, I think it was like two or 3 days. I can't really remember how many days they kept them out. Now, we used to call it the wake. And, the funeral. The funeral was when they buried. And the wake was when people would come by and pay their respects. They would come, they would view the body, and they would bring food. And, because they didn't want the family to cook. And I remember those times when they would bring our family members home, and my grandmama and some of my aunts, they would cover up the glasses, the mirrors that was in the house. And my grandmama used to always tell me, because they did not want those spirits to be captured into those mirrors. They would either turn them around. They would do the same thing with pictures that had glass in it. But they would do a lot of things like that when I was a kid. Now, if somebody else talk about this on YouTube, I don't know. But if they bring this up, remember it came from me first, Sugar and Spice. Because this is the way I grew up. And I remember at one time that when my uncles, some of them and aunties started dying out, they would like die out like within a month of each other. And that stuff used to I wasn't terrified. It's just like I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of dead bodies because I've been around them. I had cousins and uncles that was undertakers. Like I said in one of my other videos, that Oprah used to go with one of my uncles. It was a cousin. We called him uncle. We call everybody unc and auntie. And, I heard Miss Whitley said that Oprah never had kids. Yes, Oprah did have a child. She just lost it. It wasn't that she couldn't have kids. She just chose not to have children. She could have kids. She can't have them now, but she could have had them if she wanted to. But that was her sacrifice. But, like I said, they used to do stuff like that. My granny and them, and, like I said, I was a kid, and I was around all this stuff. It was like I was talking about the blood. Our life is in our blood. And I was talking about the blood types. And then Miss B, oh, Lord Jesus, Miss B Love had a nerve to come on there and talk about the blood because she been on my channel. I know you been on there. Because ain't no other nigga out here talking about the blood types. No. It's Asians, white folks. I think I seen one black guy, But she came to my channel. She just won't give me no credit, which I don't need her credit. Because number one, she's not God. And number two, like I said about her, I'm coming back to my family. About her is this right here. How you going to sit up and criticize a woman who you went to for advice? Number one. And you sitting back there like your hands is clean. And you done screwed on a whole man. Uncle Festus looking man at that. You know, bring out your shit. Talk about you laying up hollering, oh Lord, Jesus Christ. It was good at the time, wasn't it, girl? I bet he was banging the crap out of that. And you was enjoying every bit of it, girlfriend. But yeah, she kind of made me mad talking about that girl like that. I'm like, girl, come on now. Who is you? Who is you to criticize anybody? Just like the way they came at Q. I never stopped supporting Q. Because I'm like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Because you got you was caught with your panties down. You know your family acted like that. You can see it on TV. But see, a lot of y'all people, y'all elevate and the Huxtables. They not the damn Huxtables. Those are pretend families. They fake. They phony. They want you to think they're something that they're not. That's what they are. And, I'd rather to get the real, the raw, than to get that fake phony shit. Now, that's why you always get people who get, they get discovered sooner or later because of the fact they want to try to hide shit. Adrian is as docile as she is, because Adrian is easily influenced. Shit, a 12-year-old could have pimped Adrian. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the type of female she is. But then you look at their family. I heard people when they brought their daddy on the scene. Now I'm like, don't you see that nigga was drunk? That nigga got slow seed. Look at his kids. They, some of them, I'm not talking about them, you know what I'm saying? Who eats a fucking spaghetti with a damn spoon? Who does shit like that? So, it's a lot of this shit, some people just don't need to breed. You know what I'm saying? Some people should just not be allowed to breed. Now, Beloved got lucky because her mama, she seemed to be the type of woman, and I think most of her success came through her mother's bloodline than her daddy's bloodline. I don't think it came through his bloodline. Because you look at his seed, other than Beloved's life, it's not the same. It's not the same. So evidently, Beloved got her gift and her well-being from her mama, from her mother's family. That's where it came from. But like I said, I don't have nothing against Beloved's life, her family. She can say whatever she wants to say about me. But girl, you made me mad because you took you took what I was talking about on my channel and then you brought it to your channel. Even though it was briefly, you could at least said, well, this lady, I was on her channel. Yeah, you could have just said that. But see, I can understand greediness. We want to try to take things from the smaller channels and bring it to our channels to make us perceive to be that we know what we're talking about. I told different people. I said it to Cheryl. You don't ever try to put me in a box. I'm uncontainable, honey. It's so many things that I know that you'll never know in your lifetime. And it's not because of my age. These are things I've been knowing. When they got this thing called the woke movement, I've been woke all my damn life. I've always seen things for what it was, whether I was in church or whether I was out of church, whether I was around a congregation of people, whether I wasn't, whether I was around pastors and the sisters and the mothers and the deacons, or whether I wasn't. I've always been woke. I've always been woke about that word of God. I know you're supposed to decipher the word of God. You know what I'm saying? But who am I to take these words that I know that is alive in me, the ones that resonates within me, and say that it's wrong? I cannot deny my spirit. I cannot deny what touches me. It is like certain poetry touches me. But I haven't heard nobody on YouTube, especially in this mukbang and whatever, this T sector, talk eloquently enough to become like another James Earl Jones. I haven't heard it. Well, I'll take that lie back. The ones, it's certain ones that I know that have that ability to speak like that. One of them is Unspoken Purpose, and another one is Local Libra. Now, even though they do use slang and they may cuss and stuff like that, but you can hear it. You can hear it. They have that gift. Now, anybody can get on here and roast and gag. Anybody can get on here and cuss. Anybody can get on here and talk about somebody. But everybody don't have that speech pattern. Now, I have a speech impediment. Number one is because my mouth is numb. Number two, because, I went through a lot of stuff for the last couple of years, dealing with my health. And, and it's, I'm saying, it's not because of education. Education has nothing to do with a person's speech pattern. The way they use syllables, the way it comes out. And, we all come from different regions. So, of course, we're going to have different dialects. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, a lot of us back in the day, when my granny, a lot of them use Ebonics. And a lot of them use what they call Pig Latin. They call it Pig Latin. Do y'all know anything about Pig Latin? I'm from the old school, baby, and it's not because of my age. Like I said, I've been old all my life. All my life. Young, carefree. Excuse me, y'all. Carefree spirit. I loved. I, love life. I love nature. I used to love to eat, and I still like to eat, but sometimes my appetite is like, and I won't eat. And, when I was doing it, I used to love my little alcoholic beverages. I never was a beer drinker, but if I drank beer, it was always Michelob. I like Michelob better than I did any other beer. And when I would drink, I like gin. And, but gin, people say gin make you sin. Gin made me crazy. And, wine makes me really crazy. So I don't mess with wine, period. Not the type to get into fights, but I become real seductive, hoish. And I know that I'm doing it. How people say, I didn't know what I was doing. I was so drunk. I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing. When people say they don't know what they're doing, I ain't gonna lie. I know exactly what I was doing. And, I can't lie to myself. I was hoish. I didn't give it up a lot, but I was still hoish. The ones I wanted to give it up to, it's because I wanted to do it. And, but it took me years to do it. Because I was actually afraid of guys. When I knew what dudes had down there, because I didn't know. I thought we was all the same. And, when I was a certain age, I found out we was different. Because like I said, my mother used to draw out on a blackboard. She would tell us about our reproduction system and, what to expect when we started menstruating. That's the reason why I wasn't surprised when, the menstruation started. I didn't know about, that other stuff with guys until she explained it to us. And they was not giving us what you call it, physical education. You know the kind of, you know what I'm talking about, sexual education. And in schools, not the schools that I went to. And when I was first in school, from kindergarten up to I think like the second, third grade, I was in an all-black school, and it was called Carter Lawrence, and it's been gone for years. But during that time, it was all black schools. We had black bands, black majorettes. Everything was black. You know, family members went to Fisk and Tennessee State, you know, Spelman, you know, Lane College, you know. You know, that's just the way, you know, we was brought up. And a lot of us went to those colleges. But, you know, just to be, you know, honest, like I said, I don't want to come on here and talk about nobody or drag nobody, because I'm not the dragging type. I can drag, but I choose not to unless, you know, I mean, you know what? It's something on YouTube that can make me mad. Well, let me take a lie back. Certain things makes me mad. Things about a person just being ignorant, just to be ignorant, pisses me off. Now, I can understand the comical and stuff like that, but when you know you grimy, and then you're doing something to hurt another person, just like, okay, I can understand why people strike channels. Especially when you coming on here, you using number one, using my shit, me. And then you dragging me. Then, bitch, I mean, who is you? You know? Now, I mean, you're not supposed to kiss a person's ass. But don't use my shit and then expect for me to be okay with it. I'm not okay with no bullshit like that. Motherfuckers may not like me for saying this right here, but you think I give a fuck? I give less than a damn what anybody thinks about me. I go to different people's channels. I don't really go into their lives and stuff like that because I don't want to. Sometimes I do. I used to go in Truth Hurts in her lives because, like I said, I like Truth Hurts. And before her, you know, I used to go into Flexes because I like Flexi. But it's nobody on here that I dislike. You know, I may say different little things about certain ones, but just to be honest, y'all, I mean honest, let's just tell the truth. People see things that Sin City would put out on her channel or on Boom Walt's channel. Because, you know, she came out. She was acting prissy and you know, vain. You know, she just being herself on his channel because she wanted to be recognized. So, what's wrong with her doing that? But it rubbed some people the wrong way, which it didn't rub me the wrong way. You know, and I can't expect for everybody to have my feelings or anything like that. But like I said, a lot of people probably will unsubscribe because a lot of things that I have mentioned have, you know, different ones have sent people to my channel, which I appreciate that. I'm very appreciative. But I'm not the type of person to bite my tongue, and I'm not the type of person that kiss ass. If I say I like somebody, I like them. Just like I said, I like Eat with Q. And, I mean, and nobody else's opinion can sway me from that. Because I like the girl. I think she's very creative. You know, she's very creative. She's the only one on here that I have followed that has changed her whole self. I mean, I don't care if she was having a person that did the designs on her face or not. But she the one who came out with that idea, and she was putting it out there. And I mean, I commend her for that. Just like I commend her for traveling and, you know, stepping out on faith, doing what she knows she needs to do to better herself. Now, I am not concerned about her life because I know God has her in his hands. So if her husband is there or not there, that's not my business until she bring it to her channel. And even if he's not there, or even if he never shows up, that's still, she shouldn't feel ashamed. Because, look how many females out here that has had men that has used them up like dogs. Just come and see them in the middle of the night. Or had them, they with one woman and they with another woman. And, but Wanda Whitley was right about some men, not all of them. Because you got some men ain't going to lay down with you. I don't care if you got a cootie or not. You got some guys that, some women makes them, like my son, okay. I have a son, and I have two sons. I have one in particular that certain things makes his stomach, make him want to throw up. And he's a lot like me on that behalf. It's certain women that makes him want to gag. He gags. And it's not because he don't love women, because he loves women. It's just certain things about certain women that makes him sick. And, it ain't he don't like them. He can still deal with them and stuff like that as far as like as a friend. But laying down with him, no, he won't do it. Because he had a friend. And I think she was a very nice looking girl. She tried to throw herself at him, but because they had been friends for so long, you got some females out here that don't know how to be friends with a man. They think that because that man, is friendly towards them or joke with them, that man wants to sleep with them. But not all guys are like that. That's a myth that people needs to get out of their heads. Because all guys will not sleep with everything. But then you got some that will. They don't care what you look like. Just as long as you got that ussy down there. I had this Mexican dude told me. He said he ain't prejudiced. He said it's all pink to him. So, you know what I'm saying? So, if you think about it, if you look inside a vagina, if you was a gynecologist, it all looks the same. Don't nothing look different. It's just like the Palo Alto. They may look shapes and sizes, but they all look the same. So, but, like I said, maybe I'm talking too much on here. But no, I just wanted to say that about Sin City. She only came out because people came at her. People been talking about her forever. I've said things about Sin City. She was driving drinking. But, I deleted a lot of this stuff because I'm like, man, I ain't got time for that. That's not my foyer. I like watching, the foolishness that our people come up with. We're some of the most foolish people on this planet. I don't think there's nobody on this planet that is like the African Americans. I've seen other comics from different parts of the world. They black like us, and they can be funny, but they're not as foolish as we are. We're very foolish people, and we do foolish things. But we also are very smart people. You still got those that's out here that is intellectual and smart. And then you got some that is not very intellectual, but they're still smart. So that's the reason why I said that, when I hear different ones, and I don't care who the fuck takes this, good or bad, ugly, whatever, have came out and because of the way she speak, that she's got to be dumb. No, that does not make her dumb. We do dumb shit. All of us. But it doesn't make you dumb. Dumbness is when you know nothing. Your speech pattern has nothing to do with your education. It has nothing to do with your knowledge or with your wisdom. It may not come out correctly the way you want your ears hear it. If you look at some of these artists, these singers, if you listen, okay, so like Michael Jackson, if you listen, really listen to Michael Jackson, some of the shit that he be singing, the way he be putting his words, it's not the right form of words, but he used it anyway, and people still dance to it. You look at some of these rappers, some of their shit come out, kind of crooked, because, they know how to take and bend and stretch and move that word around. Some people play on words. I got a son that does that. He plays on words. I have been around doctors, okay, surgeons, specialists that is from different regions of the world. And they all have their own dialect. I've been around, especially like Southern doctors. And a lot of them, the ones that don't try to talk like beloved son or Zaddy, but you bet, you know what? I have seen white people that is so professional, don't talk like Zaddy Chunk Chunk. And I'm like, why does Zaddy Chunk Chunk feels that he has a need to talk like that? And I'm like, he's probably that way because he thinks that makes him look intelligent. It takes away from his blackness. I think all that whole family is a colorist family. Because I listened to Adrian when she was wearing her natural hair and she was kind of stretching it out. Well, I just don't like it like this. That's colorism. You know what I'm saying? You don't like your nigga hair. You born with the hair that your mom and daddy gave you. Just because your daddy was light-skinned don't make your daddy didn't have nigga genes in him. He got nigga genes too. Even the ones that's mixed on here. You still got nigga genes in you. Nigga. nigga. You can try to run from it. Shit, you can't hide. It's in that DNA, baby. You can't flush that shit out. It goes nowhere. And when they talking about this light skin shit, man, I'm so sick of that bullshit. I mean, come on now. I was raised around people of all different colors. And a lot of the blacks, the ones who grew, my mother's mothers, and all them folks, all them people was high, yellow. High, yellow. And not now one of them use their skin as a privilege. To them, they love themselves, but they felt like it was a disgrace to associate them with the other race. And see, that's what I'm saying when I listen to different ones talk about, I've heard, lighter skinned people. And I'm like, why do you focus so much on your skin color? I don't get that. I mean, and then they want to argue the point. This one drop rule, this one drop of black blood. Why does that bother you so much? Why does it bother that? I mean, we're all human. We're just humans of different hues. I say that about Ashura Gabaski. When it's not the fact that she was married to a white man. It's just the way she, like she elevated herself because of the fact of. Like this man, because this man of his hue made her somebody. Like I said, they have always looked at us as somebody. There's not a place in this world that they don't look at us as somebody. And then we trying to chase after them. They're chasing after us. They've always done that. Look at the state of Africa. Look at the state of all these Caribbean islands that has been controlled and used up by them. And I'm not guy, I don't have nothing against white people, Caucasians. I'm talking about the whites that rule shit. I'm not talking about the white folks that's in the same boat I'm in. I'm talking about the white people that is in control of shit. When I said white folks, I said them. Those are the ones I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just the regular white folks. I'm not talking about them. Because the high ups have control and manipulated their own groups of people. When they sit up and talk about black on black crime, they need to talk about white on white crime. Look at the people over in Russia and the Ukraine. That's white on white crime. The Arabs, the Jews, they're all the same. They all came from the same gene pool. Brothers and sisters. They're like cousins of each other. They all came from Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. All of them are Semites. You look at the Mongolian people. I don't care if they come from north, south, east, China, Japan, Indonesia. They all came from the same damn gene pool. They separated by tribes. Because they all have that same unique look about themselves, just like us. What makes us look alike is our hue. What makes white people look alike is their hue. Whites are still white. I don't care if they British, French, English, well, we're English, the same thing. Scottish, French. They still Caucasians. They come from that same genetic pool. That's the reason why I hear people, well, my grandmama, she was Scottish, English, and Irish, and I think she had some German in her. Your grandmama's still white. Your grandmama's still a Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? It don't, your gene, you're not separated. Your tribal thing is not separated through that. You know, that's a genetic thing, honey. People don't know they facts. They just know what has been thrown out there and they have believed it all their lives. And just like I said, you got a lot of the Spanish-speaking people too. You you got the black Spaniards and, which I call, the black Latinos, Afro Latinos. And then you got the Caribbeans from the Caribbean islands. And they may have a little bit of the native Indians that lived in that region during the time. And most of them they was wiped out a long time ago by disease, by the people who came to that land and took it over. But when you get down to the basics of it, a lot of them don't even want to be classified as being black. Well, now I'm native of this. We're this, with that. No, you are who you are. You may say you this, that. It's just like Jamaica. It is like Jamaica. The Jamaicans, your ancestors came on a ship in chains to a land to work for the slave master. The foods that was on that island, you ate of those foods, the ones they would allow you to eat on that island, and you created different things. It's just like oxtails. I grew up eating oxtails. They never say that oxtails was a Jamaican dish. the soups with the rice, with the corn, with the chicken, with the chicken feet, hot sauce, shit like that, goat, barbecue goat. You know what I'm saying? That's what tells me. People trips me out when they try to take something and say, we made it. No, the fuck you didn't. People been eating oxtails forever. The bananas, the plantains. At one time, there was no plantains in this country. It's because of the trade. But since then, people have learned, about the plantain and all that, the plantain, and all those other different fruits and vegetables that they have in other regions. That grows there naturally, just like the watermelon grew naturally in Africa. And, a lot of black people, especially during my day, a lot of them wouldn't eat watermelons and they wouldn't eat chicken. Because they felt something, because the white people had them thinking, oh, that's all niggas do is eat watermelons and chicken. But why in the fuck we shouldn't eat watermelon? Watermelon is good for our bodies. It's a source of water, which most of those lands are dry. So they needed that melon. God is an awesome God. He placed people in regions where he knew that the substance that's around them, could sustain them as a people. But like I said, when it comes down to these island people, let me tell you something. The rhythm, the drumming, all of that stuff stems from the motherland. Those are not things that you created. Just like even us in this country. We came from a generations of peoples that had lost their culture. Some of them gave up their culture life. They forgot all about it. And the reason why they forgot about it, because they wanted to assimilate into the culture of the mass, the people that was around them. They wanted to become like them because they wanted to be accepted. Because in them, they knew that they was humans. Those Caucasians and Native Americans knew that those black people was humans too. They knew they was humans. But they wanted to fuck with our minds. They wanted to keep our ancestors' minds fucked up to where they knew that if the more stress that you got on your life, it causes you to have illnesses. These are things that has been in medical history. Stress causes illnesses. And they know if they put enough burden on you that they're going to eventually weaken you. You know what I'm saying? Because they know the head is the center of it all. The heart is our love, our feelings. Our eyes and and our ears and what we say out of our mouth. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is relevant to us as people, all people of all nationalities. So if you feed a person enough bullshit, they only think bullshit. That's the way we started doing our hair. Back in the day, they started pressing their hair so they could look more presentable to the people that was around them. Everybody else had straight or either curly hair. The Native Americans, the white people, the Mexicans or Latinos that would come to this country, they all had the straight, either curly hair. We had the bush hair. So in order for us our ancestors to make ourselves look more acceptable to them so they can view us as human beings, we started doing our hair. And then we got to the place that we just didn't give a fuck. We didn't give a damn what they thought. Those are my generations. We didn't give a fuck. Still don't give a fuck. On my damn bed, I ain't gonna give a fuck. I can like you as long as you like me. You respect me, I'm gonna respect you. But you think your skin color will make me respect you over my own? You got life fucked up. I wasn't built like that. My building wasn't made with hands. So, but yeah, that's a way of control. If you systematically have already set up, to control masses of people, you have to put a game plan. You have to strategize. You have to sit around and say, how can we get to these people to fuck them up, not just for a minute, but for generations to come? You do that by putting certain ideas in their minds to where they believe this bullshit. And then what they do is they hammer down all of this bullshit from generations to generations to generations to generations to generations. And then you got some people that is in that, they question this shit because they have a curious nature like me and say, but why is it like that? Who started this shit? Why do we think like this? Why do we act like this? What makes us get so fucking angry and start tearing up shit? See, you're dealing with people that is above what I call, like I said, I'm not just talking about the normal white people. I'm not just talking about the middle class and shit. Even the ones that are millionaires, I'm not even talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that's way up there. They family, generational shit through the bloodline, all the way back. They figured out a way to control the masses. Different things for different people. They put in the mindsets of the Caucasians, the one was less than them, the ones that was not a part of their bloodline, that we got you. So some white men got together and said, well, I tell you what we do. They can't separate the intelligence of a human being because we're all the same. We'll separate them by skin color. Let's work on that. So they did that. People accepted it. Then it was like, let's separate them by religion. Let's put in this, that, and a third, so we can control them. So we can make them fearful. Well, if you go against this group of people right here, then you're going against God. Farrakhan brought that out a long time ago. And a lot of people got mad at him. Even black folks got mad at him. But he was just on telling you the truth. Then we got this group of peoples in different parts of the world that we are responsible for because, we that noble, white, privileged person. Let's get them. We've already psychologically evaluated them. We already know what ticks them off. We already know how to make them feel bad about themselves. Number one, they black. And then we're going to put in there, well, your ancestors was cursed. All that shit. Excusing the fact that you got a brain. Excusing that. Let's wipe it all out. Let's get mad at them. Let's breed them like rats, number one. Let them look at us and elevate us as gods. We're their gods. And then let's let the lower class white folks think to themselves, well, you know what, you may be poor, but you're like us. But you can't marry one of my kids. We don't want your blood mixed with our blood. You're not good enough. But you're good enough for us to set you apart to deal with the niggas or the Native Americans because you're white. We'll even give you land. The DJ that you didn't even have to fucking work for. You can go out there, you can take any woman not of your color. You can take their woman. You can even take each other's women, as long as you kill the man. Let's do that. This shit has always been in plan. That's nothing new under the sun. There's only new people that is born each day under the sun. And if they're not taught knowledge, if they're not given wisdom, then they will never know how to protect themselves. But let's get the niggas. Number one, let's separate them by skin color. Let's make this nigga right here feel like this other nigga, because this other nigga's skin is like a little bit closer to ours. But he still ain't us. Let's make this nigga feel like, well, you better than him, because you can work in the house. But don't forget you still got that big fat black mammy in the kitchen cooking. The one you want to pounce on whenever you get ready. We want that cushion. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the little gals out there. The little gals. Pop on them too. Oh, don't forget about the little boys. Pop on them too. Make them unmasculine. Because like I said, just because the person is gay don't mean that they are feminized. They can be gay and still beat the brakes off your ass. Gay has nothing to do with femininity. I can't say it right, y'all. My nose is getting stopped up. We're being feminine. You know what I'm saying? That came from them French people. The motherfuckers who walk around with their little handkerchiefs in their hands and their little powdered wigs. I was sitting up here watching this thing. I don't forgot what part of Africa it was in, but I don't know what region it was in, but I was looking at the judge. The judges still wear that damn powdered ass wigs. And these motherfuckers black and motherfuckers. I'm like, what the fuck you still got? Why you still wearing powdered wigs? The dumbness of it all. The dumbness. But like I said, getting back to the niggas. Well, we're going to make this nigga right here feel like this nigga. Okay, we're going to take the largest, the strongest of the black men. And we're going to beat his ass. We're going to have the lower class white man or another nigga to beat his ass in front of all of these women, in front of all of these young men. We're going to beat his ass until he do what our master told him to do. Or we'll just gut him like a hog. We're going to rape their children. We're going to take their little kids. If you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm going to tell you, you can have 4 or 5 kids. I'm going to take each and every last one of them motherfuckers and I'm going to sell them. That way right there, your kids won't even know anything about their knowledge of who they are or where they came from. They don't know any damn thing. We'll place them in this plantation, separate. So they being misused and abused and not knowing who they are by other blacks, by whites. When a person wants to violate, they usually want to violate them when they're children because they're the most impressionable. They're the ones that can be molded. You know, like I said, I have nothing against homosexuality. That's their business. All I'm saying is don't try to mold my child into make my child thinking that what they are is something that you're saying that they are. Let my child grow up and be who they're supposed to be. You know, it's only two styles, male and female. You know, all this other shit, you know what I'm saying, that comes from other shit that's in your head. You know, other things that you know, that you think about yourself, which I ain't got nothing to do with that either. I ain't God. But see, it's where the mind is. You know. But yeah, let's do niggas like that. That's why you still got these black men working around here. Now you got some black people that was born with blonde or reddish hair. They were born like that. There wasn't no dye. But their skin tone matches that golden look that they have. You got blacks got green eyes or blue eyes, you know, shit like that. You know, it's just, that's part of their genetics. It ain't because they was mixed with white people. But you got the ones that's walking around here and they wearing all this blonde and stuff in their head. And like they said that Adrian, that wig that she does look like Rick James hair back in the day. What was that song? Ebony Eyes. That's the name of that song. Yeah. Love you. Yeah, Ebony Eyes. Oh, shit, Adrian. But no, man, seriously. I want y'all to really be aware of what's going on around us. You know, it's fun to laugh and joke and, you know, stuff like that. But when you get to the place that you really want to degrade another human being because of that human being lack of knowledge, you know, you got to be able to elevate them. And the only way to elevate them is to teach them something that is true. Don't teach them things that because you thought of this. There's thousands of books out here that is based upon other people's viewpoints about things, other people's opinions. It is like they talk about the hieroglyphics over in Egypt. That is a dead language. Now, being a dead language, how all of a sudden these people came up with the idea of how to decipher? You know, they could be feeding us a bunch of bullshit. And then we take it as truth. We take it as facts. We take it as evidence. And it may not be true. You see what I'm saying? And that's the way when you watch the news or when somebody just on here telling you something, you know, if it's not facts, you have to learn how to decipher between it. And a lot of people don't have that ability. So it takes some people out here to try to pull a person back to reality. That's the reason why I do give kudos, even though, like I said, he don't know what he needs to know. Beloved's second son, Darius. Darius don't know it all, but Darius is learning. And I respect Darius for that. He can be quirky, you know, that's just his nature. But I respect him. Out of all of her family, I think I respect Darius the most. Because Darius, you know, he's learning. And he don't mind putting it out there. His mama knows certain things, but she's so afraid of what somebody's going to think of her. But people already know what to think about you, beloved. You know, they know that you pretending to be timid. You pretend to be afraid, but you're not. You pretending to be something that you're not. You pretend to be Miss Huxtable, but you're not. Yeah, you have a mansion. Yeah, you have made money. That's kudos, that's good. But you're not the only woman out here and family out here that has made it like that. You're only one, a drop in the bucket. And for anybody to try to copy you or to emulate you are really crazy. But yeah, I can understand why people don't want to, show themselves out here. Everybody don't want everybody to know everything about them, so they just get on camera and they just eat. But like I said, in a lot of people's defense, I don't have nothing against nobody. I have love for everybody. And you might say how you love everybody, because I do. I do. I used to didn't love everybody. Just to be honest, I didn't. And like I said, I did not love white people. I didn't. I love them now. But I associated every white person with being the cruelty and the meanness that I seen, growing up as a child. I seen the way they did black people. I seen the way they did other nationalities. I seen the way they did Mexican people. I seen the way they did Asian people. I seen that with my own two eyes. Like I said, I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've been around a lot of things, and I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things. And like I said, I would never bring it on YouTube because I love my life. But I've been around a lot, and I don't get excited about this person being Italian, this person be German, or this person be French, this person's Latino, this person is African, this person, whatever. I don't get, that shit don't excite me. The only thing that excites me is, number one, you're human. Do you know I'm human too? You want respect. Don't you know I deserve respect too? And don't you know I'm the main one that will not give you respect? And don't really care what you think about it. It's not that I don't love. Like I said, I held white people responsible for the way that our people was portrayed. And a lot of this shit was on TV. I grew up with that, that generation. I didn't appreciate it. Even though I love their movies. And it taught me a lot of, their movies taught me a lot of shit too. But I did not appreciate the fact of some white folks. Because you got some good Caucasian people out here. And, they love just like we love. They love their parents just like we love our parents. And I used to have this stickler about, they try to act like Latino people or African people love their parents more than, no, they don't love their parents no more than we love our parents. You don't love your kids no more than I love my kids. Now, you got some people out here that should never been parents. But you got some people out here, man, that is good parents, good grandparents, loving people that only wants the best for everybody. That's the way I am today. So, I have no apologies for nobody because I've never felt like I've done any wrong to anybody. Maybe I'm narcissistic like that. I don't know. But I've never felt like I've done anything wrong. I have only spoke things that a person have showed to me. That's the reason why I have nothing against none of these people on YouTube. Even though, like I said, I have nothing against mixed race. I have no problem with it. Shit. I have no problem with it. I'm the type of mama, I've even told my sons. I have a son that's have an artistic son. I told him I said, you fooling around with these black women, and none of them respect or have the patience to deal with your artistic son. I said, you need to get you a sweet white woman, a white woman that knows how to elevate that child. If you can't find it in a black female, don't push a white woman aside or no other woman aside that could be there for your son and for you, to be a helpmate to you. I've told my kids that. We're international people. We love all people. That's why I'm capable of calling a spade a spade. That's one reason. But y'all, I've been here for a long time. But Swords, I love you all. And like I said, keep up that whole armor. And don't let nothing deter you. If you, like I said, it's not the four walls of the church. It's not the pastor. And it's really not a lot to do with the teaching. You know, it depends on what you feel as you read. It's like you read and open up a book of poems. And if it touches your spirit, then that is what it's supposed to do that. But to believe that, I used to have this thing in my mind is, so what if it is not true and you die? And then you find out that when you dead, that none of this was true. What has it hurt than for you to die and then find out that it is true? You know, it'll only make you a better person. And it depends on what you read and how you read the Word of God. You know, I read the book of Proverbs, the book of Psalms. I also read the book of John, all three, and Ecclesiastics. And most of the books that I read are most of the books of Solomon. You know, I've read a lot of the Old Testament, a lot of the New Testament. I've not read the Bible through and through, but I do know that you got a lot of people that has taught in error. You know, they taught their congregation because they didn't know themselves. They learned in error. Because anytime you got to walk around and kiss a Pope's ring in order to be accepted into being a bishop, then something is wrong with you. You putting him above God. There's no faith in this world that I would put before God. Not Muhammad, not Buddha, nobody. Now, you know, it's just like the Muslims. I have nothing against Islam. But my thing is, you believe in this. This is the way you believe. But don't try to put that on me. It don't mean I believe this way. I'm a free thinking person. Nobody may not think the way I think. Like I said, I know my channel is meant for certain people. Everybody don't think the same. You cannot put me in a box and make me believe, you know, anything. It's just like people get excited when people say, oh, you so beautiful. Yeah, I know you're trying to blow smoke up my ass too. You don't have to tell me something about me that I already know about me. It's not that I'm doubting your word. It's just that I know who I am. My beauty is on the inside. My beauty is my brain. That's where I'm beautiful at. I can care less about the outside. As long as this inner working female is working, that is what, and see, like, you know, some women have different things. That I love an intelligent man. I love intelligence. That has always turned me on. And, you know, I love knowledge. I do. I love wisdom. And I love science. I love things like that. Things like that has always turned me on. You know, I can hear a lecture just as well you can listen to Luther Vandross, even though Hey, you can listen to some Luther. And I love me some Luther, Al Green, Marvin Gaye, um, all them old schools and the ones, some of them now, which I take with a grain of salt, but, it's just that, some people are turned on by different things. And I'm not saying turned on like sexually. I'm just saying turned on by mentally. Anytime a person can stimulate my mind, then they can stimulate me. And it's hard to stimulate my brain. Now, I listen to a bunch of bullshit, but I have bullshit in and bullshit out. But y'all, I'm finna get off of here. I made me some fish last night. I should have brought it on my channel, but I know y'all don't want to see me eating, and I don't really want to be on here eating. But I want me some mackerels. So I have some mackerels, and I'm thinking about making me a couple of salmon patties and some rice. And I'm thinking about eating that for my dinner instead of frying some chicken. But anyway, I'm finna get off of here. I love you all with the love of the Lord. With everything, get understanding and get wisdom. And I'll be back on here again. Like I said, I'm feeling better. And if this rubs some people the wrong way, then oh well. I'm just speaking my opinion. And just like my opinion, just like everybody got, a-hole. Everybody got one. So, but I'm not trying to, roast and gag nobody. Like I said, I can do it if I choose to do it. But I choose not to do that. I choose not to. So I'm finna get off of here. I love you all with the love of the Lord. Bye.